Okay. Sorry, I was actually just yelling at my new puppy that I mentioned in my first video that we're working on training. But it's October 25th, and I am going to be conducting today Lab Week 2, which is making a lava lamp out of some common household items. So I have Alka-Seltzer. Stop it. And this water bottle, which is already filled with a little bit of tap water, and I'm going to be mixing in vegetable oil and some food coloring as well. And hopefully the result will be a lava lamp. So let's get started. I'm going to fill this water bottle about 3/4 of the way full with some oil. Okay. And you can already see that it's like separating pretty evenly. So I'm going to add just a little bit of food coloring. I'm thinking blue. I only have the basic colors, but I believe it's just like 8 to 10 drops, so. Okay. And, well, it looks kind of cool, but you can notice already that it's kind of sinking right down to the bottom and it's staying in the drops. It's not mixing with the oil at all. And then in the lab it included a little bit about how certain molecules are polar, and so I think the water and the food coloring are polar, and so they're able to mix a lot easier together than with the oil, which is non-polar. So I guess it didn't really even matter what order I would pour any of these things in. I think that it would probably not mix no matter what, and the water and the food coloring would probably sink to the bottom because oil has a lighter density. So now that I have these things already mixed in, I just want to make sure I'm not supposed to try to shake it or anything. I think that it would still stay separated, but we'll put a little Alka-Seltzer in. All right. All right. So I'm assuming that when this happens, I mean, everyone's probably taken Alka-Seltzer before, but it fizzes up and it creates a gas from the reaction. And I would say it's probably because there's sodium bicarbonate and citric acid in here, as well as a little bit of aspirin. So, I guess we'll see what happens, because when it comes in contact with water is probably when it starts to bubble up and fizz. So let me make sure I have my cap ready, as we learned from our other experiment this week. All right. I'm going to close it. And, like we predicted, you could see a lot of fizzing and bubbling, and it's hard to kind of tell on camera, but you can definitely notice the oil and stuff clumping together. As I shake it a little more, it seems to be a little bit better. Alright. And it already seems to kind of be slowing down quite a bit. and I can feel like the bottle is getting definitely tight, which means the pressure's increasing in there. So definitely was some production of CO2. And because the Alka-Seltzer, it ran out and stopped producing bubbles, that was probably the limiting reactant to the sodium bicarbonate. So I just want to see if I was to add another tab, which I have, these packets came in too. So just to verify. I just want to see, out of curiosity, what would happen. Sorry, I'm not sure if you're supposed to be seeing this as well. But pretty cool. Okay, so I mean, that pretty much concludes the experiment. Like I said, like I kind of explained, just to wrap it up, definitely separate components because both densities and how well they blend together and mix. And then the Alka-Seltzer is what kind of triggers the chemical reaction to occur, and is eventually what runs out. So that's kind of what's going to finish the reaction. But overall, pretty cool, pretty simple, and interesting. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you next week.